Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tyrone from the HIV Stop For Me campaign from Long Island. First and foremost, I want to say happy Pride. You know what I'm saying? Get out there and celebrate us for being us. And now I'm here for the June question of the month, which is the theme of New York City's 2024 Pride is reflect, empower, and unite. How does that theme apply to your journey as a spokesmodel? So as far as reflection on me is reflecting on when I first became diagnosed with HIV. Because if you read my story from the beginning, reflecting for me is that I was diagnosed, misdiagnosed, and by the time I was actually diagnosed, I was put in a coma, and I woke up. I was like 90 pounds, 91 pounds. So if I reflect on that, that's like something I would never wish on anyone. And one of the main reasons I joined the campaign to bring acknowledgement to HIV. And at that time, we weren't being tested for HIV. If you were brought in, it was maybe this, maybe that, you know what I'm saying? As I said, I was misdiagnosed 3 times. So I'm going to move on. If you want to hear more about that, you go to my story at hivstopsme.org. The next thing we're going to talk about is empower. So empower to me means that I have the power to change the things that I went through. So for me to empower people now is to, you know what I'm saying, get tested. Even if you think you're not susceptible to contracting HIV, you may be in a heterosexual relationship or a one-on-one relationship, whatever it consists of, gay, non-conforming, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, get yourself tested, because at the end of the day, we know what we're doing. We don't know what our partners are doing. So we want to empower ourselves to do something. You know what I'm saying? We want to get ourselves tested, make our partners get tested, make our community get tested. So we want to empower them with the knowledge that there are ways to prevent HIV, and that's by empowering. And when I say empowerment, I mean talking about PrEP and condoms. And we know a lot of people don't use condoms these days, so we want to speak about PrEP, which is the most prevalent thing these days. Because when you use PrEP, it's an empowerment that people have that's like, okay, I don't want to use condoms, but you know what? I have PrEP that if I'm dealing with someone that's HIV positive that may not be undetectable or may not be in treatment, you can protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? But keep in mind that empowering ourselves with PrEP doesn't necessarily mean it stops us from contracting STDs or STIs. So we want to always be mindful of that. And I'm going to say that now empowerment means talking about different things, because now there is a new thing out that's called, it's a new PrEP that's called, I'm trying to think of the name of it. I can't think of it now, but I'll come back to it. What is it? Okay, so now the third one is unite. So uniting each other, and what that means is that you know, like, whether we're living with HIV or we know someone living with HIV or we're not living with HIV, you know what I'm saying? But we're having risky behaviors. So it's to unite and saying that if we unite and promote PrEP and undetectableness, undetectable means that if you're living with someone or dating someone that's living with HIV and they're undetectable, we want to make sure that they are undetectable. So that means maybe going to their doctor's appointments with them, being a part of their support system, You know what I'm saying? And let me get back to that now. So when I was talking about STIs and STDs, because PrEP will help you with uh, preventing you from contacting HIV, but there's a new treatment out now called DoxyPrep. And if you don't know about DoxyPrep, I'm here to empower you about that now. DoxyPrep is something that you can take that doesn't necessarily prevent HIV, but if you're dealing with someone, it prevents STIs and STDs. So let's say that you're taking PrEP, which we know prevents HIV. There's a new drug out there called DoxyPrep that can help with STIs and STDs. So if you don't know about that, I would encourage you to ask your doctors about that, do some research about that. And that all ties into uniting, you know what I'm saying? It's all about keeping ourselves and our partners safe. And a lot of times when we talk about uniting and HIV, as I reflect on that, it's sometimes like if we're living with HIV and we're just dating someone or going to pop off for the night after the club, we may not want to tell them our status. It's like, well, I'm just gonna pop off with them for the night. So you know what I'm saying? If they're gonna not use a condom, then what do they think? Yeah, we have to be protective of ourselves and others. For me, as in with HIV, I have a partner. You know what I'm saying? So before I had a partner, when I was out dating and stuff like that, I knew that as long as I was keeping myself secure, I was keeping them secure. So it wasn't much about empowering others. It was empowering myself without consideration of others. You know what I'm saying? So now that I'm able to speak about being undetectable, which is untransmittable, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Treatment is powerful now, right now. You know what I'm saying? Treatment is prevention. So if I'm undetectable, taking my meds and not able to pass the virus, and that's what undetectable means. 99.9%, if I'm adherent to my medications, I can't pass the virus. So that's empowering myself to help others remain undetectable. You know what I'm saying? And then when I talk about uniting, it's about speaking about DoxyPrep and all these things that keep us safe. Not only keep us safe from HIV, but from STDs, you know what I'm saying? But I say the most thing I could say to unite us is, you know what I'm saying, is to be safe. Have honest conversations with your partners, or even if you're just out there and don't have a partner and having casual sex, which, hey, it's okay, because a lot of times if you don't have a partner, we go to the clubs or not the clubs. We're on these sites and we want to pop off. We want to be honest, you know what I'm saying? And we want to let people know that there are things to keep them safe as well as us safe. And we want to talk about PrEP. We want to talk about DoxyPrep. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, it's kind of different for me because I've had a partner and we've been together for 8 years off and on. So we both know each other's status, but we also know how to keep each other safe. And even if we're not together, if we're out doing things with other people, because I said we've been together 8 years off and on. So even if we're not together and we're out doing things with other people, and this is not just for me, this is for other people, we want to reflect on what we've been through. So in our minds, we're thinking about what we've been through, and we don't want other people to go through that. You know what I'm saying? For me, it was a journey. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the destination. It's a journey that I'm still on. It's a journey with no destination. You know what I'm saying? So it's about keeping people safe and letting them know my status, but also letting them know that they are empowered, that if they choose to deal with me, that they don't just have to go off on my word. There's PrEP, there's DoxyPrep, there's condoms, which we don't know why they use condoms no more, if you're being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. You know what I'm saying? But there are things to keep us safe. And we all need to unite. And what I mean by unite is we all have to look out for each other, because we don't want to pass, us as living with HIV, we know that we can't pass the virus, but if we're not on our meds, we want you to be safe. And we want to unite by saying that as a safety precaution, there are things like PrEP, there's an injectable, there's the pill form, and now there's DoxyPrep. So we want to be able to give them as much information as possible to protect ourselves, because we don't want to have a partner or someone that we are messing around with sleeping around on other people, and even if we're undetectable, we don't want them bringing back us to STI or STD. So we want to speak about doxy prep. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like the main thing for me is not even speaking about my HIV status now. I think I've spoken about that for so much. So it's not even about speaking about my status now. It's more about speaking about how to keep people safe and giving them the education that they need. And some people don't need the education, they just need a reminder. Like, you know, there's PrEP, and we know that Black and Hispanic, and especially women, have the lowest rates of accessing PrEP. So my message now is like, yo, it's like HIV is preventable right now. Other than us being undetectable, which means we can't pass the virus, there are things that you can do as our partners or pop-offs or whatever. There's PrEP. If you're taking PrEP as prescribed, if you're dealing with someone that's living with HIV, if you're taking PrEP as prescribed, you cannot catch HIV. You know what I'm saying? If we want to take it a step further, because we know PrEP and undetectable means that we can't pass the virus. But if we're still having risky behaviors, there's still the risk of STIs and STDs. But now there's doxy PrEP. You know what I'm saying? So to unite us all, I just want to get the message out that if we're living with HIV, we're undetectable, we can't pass the virus. If you don't feel safe and secure with that, there's PrEP. You know what I'm saying? If you're worried about STIs and STDs, there's now called doxy PrEP. So if we all unite and be honest with each other, we can kind of eliminate this virus and bring, what's the word I'm looking for? We can kind of lower the risk of STIs and STDs to doxy PrEP. And you'll be hearing more about this from me if you look at our questions of the month, because I'm sure we'll have more questions of the month with STIs and STDs, and reflecting and empower. Because reflecting is just, to me, is reflecting on my status with HIV. Empowering you all is about letting you know that there are ways that prevent HIV, ways to prevent STIs and STDs. And uniting, it's about us all having a conversation, an honest conversation about how we can work together to prevent all of this. You know what I'm saying? So again, happy Pride. And I hope you listen to my message, because it's happy Pride. We all know what it gives on Pride, you know what I'm saying? It's everybody from out of state. We see a kid, they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pop off. So you know what I'm saying? Be safe. Think about doxy PrEP. Think about PrEP. You know what I'm saying? And remember that those of us that are living with HIV, 99.9% of us are undetectable, so which means we can't pass the virus. So you can't go out and be like, oh, you gave it to me? Nah, I was undetectable. So maybe think about other people that you know what I'm saying, that you have relations with or whatever. But we're always open to have conversations and speak the truth about our situations, so we wouldn't be on this campaign. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's Friday night and it's only the 14th, so we got like 16 more days of Pride. So listen to this message and take hold and enjoy your Pride, but most importantly, be safe. Reflect on the messages that you've heard. Empower yourself and your friends, you know what I'm saying? And let's all unite to end the stigma against HIV. All right, so have a happy Pride and good night.